These last two things we're going to actually spend a little bit of time on. One that I've heard very, very often in the churches over the years is the complaint that nobody called me. Nobody called me. So someone is out for a few weeks, a week or two, a few weeks, and when they come back, the first thing that they want to say is, well, nobody called me, or nobody came to visit me. Let's talk about that complaint for a moment. Let's look into the spiritual side of this type of a complaint. Nobody called me. You know, I think we all recognize, and all should recognize, the difficulty that there is in growing older, and the pain that comes, how much more frequent visits to the hospital and visits to doctors become, and how seniors, our elderly, need our prayers. You know, they need our support. We do. We need to call them and check on them. We need to go by and see them, visit them in the hospital. We absolutely need to do that, and we should be doing it. But the issue here is what this shows in the senior. Now, you remember, we're going to talk in one of our sessions about a shallow faith, and this is one of the manifestations of their faith being shallow. It's not that we shouldn't care for them, that shouldn't support them. We should. I just want to make that clear. But what does it reveal about someone who is a Christian? That when they're out of church for a week or two, the thing that occupies their mind is that nobody called them. See, that shows a focus on self. Me, me, me. And this is really a huge problem within the senior community within the church, especially Baptist churches, is a focus on themselves. Everything has to be about them. And you remember in the first session of this Reviving a Baptist Church, I talked about idols, that we have to destroy idols in order to renew obedience, come back to health, and be revived by Christ. Well, this is an example of an idol. The idol, and it's just something that we all struggle with. You know, as we go through these different sins, I want to make sure I also say that these are not sins that just seniors commit. These are sins that middle-aged people like me, younger people, we all are guilty of these sins. But we're going to focus on seniors because of the number of them that are in the church. So when we talk about the idol of self, every one of us struggles with this. Regardless of the age, we're always trying to put ourselves first and make ourselves king. When we show a focus on, when we say, nobody called me, that's focusing on myself. Focusing on myself. And my question to you would be, those who are complaining that no one called you, who have you called? Who have you called when someone else has been out? Who are you checking on? And so much of the time, that person isn't doing any of that. They're just looking out for themselves. But you see, if we follow the pattern of Christ, then we focus on others, and everyone gets their needs met. Let's look at what Jesus said in Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many. So what he's saying is, look, even the king, when he came, didn't sit around and say, nobody called me. If Jesus were a senior in our churches today, Jesus would be calling everyone else. And Jesus would never say, nobody called me, because he realizes that he is not first. He always places himself last, and then therefore we should do that. You see, so if I am always looking out for your needs, and you're always looking out for my needs, and everyone in the church is looking out for the needs of others, then we will meet all the needs of all the people without having to be self-centered about it. So we need to really correct ourselves on this nobody called me complaint.